This is McLennans Mountain Church, historic old church, built in 1860. The McLennans first settled this area. They came on the ships of 1801, and since that time the name has often been changed to McLellans, but the McLennans family were a large family, settled here first. The people of this congregation revered their ministers, and one of the first ministers of this building was McGilvery, and they have a monument here to the Reverend McGilvery. He died in 1862, came here in 1832. The original building was too small, so in 1860 they built this building. It opened on Christmas Eve, 1860, and you can imagine the large crowd that was here. And this is coming into the church. There's the doorways up to the balcony, and there's still one of the old lights there, and there's one of the old benches, and this was the minister's room. Reverend McGilvery, and then Donald Allen Fraser, and they were, as I said, very revered ministers. Their pictures are on the wall here. That's Dr. McGilvery, and that's Donald Allen Fraser. Church is still open and operating in the summer months. And if you go into the sanctuary, you can see that it's quite a large sanctuary, and the balcony has been filled in, closed in since a number of years. And the seats, of course, in those days didn't have any cushions, and families had certain seats and nobody else was to sit in them. You'll notice the boards on the floor, the knots are high because the softwood is worn down from traffic over hundreds of years or more. And the boards in here are quite wide, indicating they must have been big timbers in those days. And of course, the high pulpit would be where the ministers spoke from in those days. When the church was built, this front part here, where the pulpit is today, wasn't even there. So the high pulpit allowed the ministers to get up there and speak to the people in the balcony as well. We'll take a walk up there, and you can see the curved stairwells on both sides of this high pulpit. It's kind of amazing how they did that in those days. Didn't have power tools, of course. There's the door, and there's the old couch up there for the ministers to sit on. And the tapestry is probably old tapestry here. And from up here, there's quite a view. And of course the voice would go up to the balcony and be easily heard. And I can tell by my own voice here today that the acoustics are quite good in this church. It's an historic old church, and like a lot of churches, the attendance is low, but we're hoping to keep the building in good shape and keep it for a few more years. I can recall as a child in the 50s sitting down there listening to distinguished speakers here. One of them was the Reverend A.D. McKinnon. He was moderator of the General Assembly from Cape Breton. He spoke Gaelic and English. And of course, in the old days, ministers McGilvery and Donald Allen Fraser would preach one sermon in English and one in Gaelic. So it's a lovely old church.